Joining us right now from somewhere in his empire is Donald Trump. He wants to be our president coming up with the big election in November. Good morning to you, Mr. Trump.
Good morning.
A lot of headlines over the weekend about your comments regarding the judge in the Trump University case. One thing about it is you could have settled this, you have said, before, but you decided to take it forward. Why is that again? Some people are just kind of catching up to the whole thing.
Well, because I have thousands of students who have taken these courses who have given us rave reviews, written in writing and some on tape. Thousands and thousands, and they'll testify, and we'll win the case easily. It's going to be an easy case to win. If you saw USA did a study of my lawsuits and my cases and various things, and I had a tremendous record of victories. That was a front-page story, by the way. I think it was something like 480 wins and 32 losses. Put this one in the win column. And I don't like settling cases where you're being held up. These are class actions. You get sued by class actions. Every firm knows about class action lawsuits. It's disgraceful. But it's very simple. I have thousands of people. I don't mean like two. I mean thousands and thousands of people who signed documents like report cards.
So you are confident you're going to be ultimately found?
100%.
Okay.
And this is a case that should have been thrown out a long time ago by the judge.
All right,
a long time ago.
Hillary Clinton went after you over the weekend for this case, and so did some well-respected and well-known Republicans as well. Let's take a listen to that, and then we'll get your reaction.
What Trump is doing is trying to divert attention from the very serious fraud charges against Trump University. He does have that thin skin. And, Judge Curiel is as American as I am, and certainly as American as Donald Trump is. And Trump's continuing ethnic slurs and rants against everyone, including a distinguished federal judge, I think makes my point rather conclusively.
But this is one of the worst mistakes Trump has made, and I think it's inexcusable.
What's your reaction to that, Mr. Trump?
Well, with Hillary, she's under investigation, should be going to jail, except the system's possibly rigged, frankly. I mean, for her to be talking about anything, this is just a small civil case. This is not a big deal. I mean, believe it or not, this is not a big deal. They make it a big deal because of me. As far as other people are concerned, and I'll win the case. I'll win the case very easily. It goes before a jury. The good news is I go before a jury. But it shouldn't even be a case. This case should have been thrown out on summary judgment. And if somebody else were there, this would have been thrown out on summary judgment. As far as Newt is concerned, I saw Newt. I was surprised at Newt. I thought it was inappropriate what he said.
Well, he really believes that you can't bring up someone's ethnic background if they were born here in this country, and that they're a federal judge appointed. He was appointed by Governor Schwarzenegger originally. Yeah, Corker says I don't condone the comments. McConnell said we should be bringing the party together. So these are some.
Well, he was appointed by President Obama, just to set the record straight.
Right.
I mean, he was appointed a federal judge by President Obama.
But in a time in which the economy just put together an anemic 38,000 jobs, and you want to fix the economy, well, how does it benefit Donald Trump becoming president to talk about the ethnicity of a school that most of the country doesn't care about?
You know why? And you're right. Most people don't care about it, but it gets brought up by the other side. So when I respond, and then I talk about how bad the jobs picture is, how bad our country is doing, how badly we're doing economically, how people are out of work, how our real unemployment rate is through the roof, and people don't want to talk about it because that's a ridiculous number. The 5% is a ridiculous number. You understand that. I talk about all of this. The only thing they pick up is the fact that I'll say something about, the Trump University case. Now, all I do is a quick referral, and I say it loud and clear. And by the way, a lot of people agree with me, and I have a lot of support. And the reason I have a lot of support, they understand. They're starting to understand the case. Thousands and thousands of people have said it's great. They took the course. And by the way, they're going to be witnesses.
Right.
So, and people understand that, and my supporters understand that.
But why would Newt Gingrich, you really respect Newt Gingrich. He wasn't just firing off. He said some nice things about you in that interview, but says, I can't condone, he doesn't understand where you're coming at with this. Does anything like that get through to you and make you reform your tactics when someone who's been a supporter of yours comes out and says this is a huge mistake?
All I'm trying to do is figure out why I'm being treated so unfairly by a judge. And a lot of people agree with it. All I want to do All I want to do is find out, why am I being treated so unfairly by a judge?
Now, when you say treated unfairly...
When you have a plaintiff, hey, Brian, when you have a plaintiff, right, you have a plaintiff that brings the case, started the case, brought the case, turned out that she was a terrible plaintiff because she signed all sorts of documents, how great the courses were, how great the school was, everything. Right. It was unbelievable. Then it found out we have a tape of her saying it on video. We have a tape. Wait a minute.
And she wants out of the case.
Ask her... They say, uh-oh, she's a disaster as a witness. We say, we won the case. She's a disaster as a witness. Then what happens? They go to the court. They say, Your Honor, we don't want her as a plaintiff any longer. We say, okay, throw out the case. That's fine. We just won the case. We thought we won the case. He throws out the plaintiff, and he says, nope, the case has to proceed.
Well, let's say everything you said is 100% accurate. If you're running for president and you're running against somebody who's about to get the nomination and you're trying to outline why you'd be a better president, why would it be to your best interest, to your campaign, to your party's best interest, to focus on a case that's not going to come to trial till after the election?
I don't, except they bring it up, and when they bring it up, I respond to it, Brian. But I respond to the bad economy. I respond to a lot of things that are going wrong in this country. I respond to the very crooked and dishonest big league, maybe criminally dishonest, the Clinton Foundation, with the money they took in, the horrible money they took in, and then he goes around or she goes around and makes speeches, and the favors that were done. I mean, nobody really looks at that stuff. And you're talking about big league stuff, the money that comes in and pours in from foreign countries, and she's Secretary of State. The whole thing is a horror show. Now, I talk about that. People don't pick that up. They pick up this. It's amazing. And, you know, it's largely...
What did Paul Manafort and others...
Let's switch gears.
What did your other campaign, Paul Manafort and others, say about your emphasizing so much in Trump University?
Okay, I don't emphasize it, but when I sit down for Face the Nation and John Dickerson, a good guy, asks me a question, and the first question is about this, and then the second and third question are about this, and then I sit down for Jake, and the first question is this, and then the second and third question also are this. You know, you have to respond. Now, then the papers pick this up more than they pick up the fact that we had an anemic jobs report, a horrible jobs report on Friday. And I speak about the jobs report, but people don't find that so exciting.
Well, wanted to switch to something that actually relates to this. Your odds of being elected president, there are a number of UK betting facilities, including the odds makers Ladbrokes and others, and they looked at the odds of the amount of money people are wagering over the U.S. presidential election. When you made your comments where you called some illegal Mexicans rapists, your odds were 100-1. After you made the comments about John McCain, your odds were 50-1. The day before the Iowa caucuses, your odds were 3-1, and right now you are at 2-1.
Wow.
Okay, so that's what the odds makers say.
That's good.
It looks like...
I think they know better than the political pundits.
Well, because they've actually got some skin in the game. It looks like controversy, and you got one with this Trump University thing, controversy seems to help you.
Well, you have to go and fight controversy. You can't let people put their spin on it. You know, I watched somebody from NBC, this person, Katie Tur. She knows nothing about my campaign. She said, you know, things about my campaign like she's an expert. We don't even let her in. We don't talk to her. We don't let people talk to her because she's a, you know, not a very good reporter. So we don't let people talk. And I watch so-called people talking about my campaign that really don't know much about it. You people know more about my campaign than almost anybody, okay? But maybe you should go out and talk. You'll make a fortune. But the fact is that people talk about my campaign. We don't even allow them in. They know nothing about the campaign. But they sit there and they talk like... I remember when Michael Jackson died, I was friends with Michael Jackson. I knew Michael Jackson very well. And they had everybody commenting on Michael Jackson. I said to myself, you know, it's amazing. He didn't even know those people. But it's like that. I mean, the world of politics is a very strange world. And people want to get on and they say things. They have nothing. They have no idea what they're talking about. And I watch it and I listen to it all the time. But I think the 2-1 odds, that's a lot different than, you know, from where I started. When I started with you and doing your show,
100-1.
I was never in that category, that I can tell you.
All right, I don't know if you caught the Miss USA pageant last night, but the lady who won, Deshawn Barber, she had a mic the drop moment last night when she was asked about women having combat roles. Let's hear her response to this.
As a woman in the United States Army, I think it was an amazing job by our government to allow women to integrate into every branch of the military. We are just as tough as men. As a commander of my unit, I'm powerful. I am dedicated. And it is important that we recognize that gender does not limit us in the United States Army.
I think she became America's favorite when we watched the video last night. I was watching the pageant of her mom and dad in uniform and what the military means to her. So it was an excellent pick, I thought, by the judges. What did you think?
Well, I thought it was great. You know, I owned Miss USA and I sold it to IMG and Miss Universe. I sold it to IMG for a lot of money, frankly. But it was something I think, I don't know, owning the pageants while I'm running for president, I'm not sure if that was a good idea, so I sold it. But it was, I loved owning it. I took it from a sick puppy. I bought it for almost nothing and sold it for, you know, many, many, many millions of dollars. And you know, it was a wonderful thing to watch it grow. And I watched it last night. I thought IMG did a really good job. I thought the answer also, by the way, was excellent. That was probably the answer that won.
Yep, First Lieutenant Deshawn Barber reporting for duty as Miss USA 2016. Donald Trump, thank you very much for joining us on this Monday morning.
Thank you very much.